49. We are up to this Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday went to the concert.
Says the Gemara, the fourth line down. Rabbi Yochanan said, Shmoni ma'el pirkei kuna 80,000 young Kohanim. Nergo Adam shel Schaier were killed for the blood of Schaier the prophet, who was of course killed in the murder of the Beis HaMikdash. Rabbi Yehuda shel Rabbi Yaakov. Yehuda asked Rabbi Yaakov, Eichon argu Schaier? Where they killed Schaier? Bezos Nashim Bezos Yisrael. Was it Nashim Bezos Yisrael? Amar lo. So he said, Lo Bezos Yisrael, V'lo Bezos Nashim, Ela Bezos Kohanim. Not in the Ezos Yisrael, not in the Ezos Nashim, but in the inner regions of the Ezos Kohanim. Not only that, even though they did in the holiest precincts, you would think they would feel guilty. They did not treat his blood lo kadamat ayil, not like the blood of a ram, lo kadamat tzvi, nor like the blood of a.
We did this
What?
already.
Yeah, he did it, but it's all one long continuous thing. So lo kadamat ayil, not like the blood, and that's not of a ram; it's a mountain goat. Lo kadamat tzvi, which are tamon ksider. It says shafachas damo v'chisol ba'afar. You spill its blood and you cover it with dirt. But here, kidama b'tochohaya, its blood was within it. Hatzchiach sela samto on the tzchiach, so means literally a dry stone, but here means on the surface of the stone. They placed the blood was placed. In other words, in order to take revenge from the Jews. Kokach lama. Why was this? Lahalos chema. In order to cause anger, nakam, in order to take revenge. Nosati is dama, for that reason I put its blood al tzchiach sela on the smooth stone. Levilti chasos, there shouldn't be covered. Sheva averos of Yisrael bosayom. The Am Yisrael transgressed 7 averos on that day when they killed Schaier Novi. Hargu Kohen and Novi, they killed individuals, both Kohen and Novi, Vitayon. B'shav Kutam Noki, and they spilled innocent blood. V'timus Azar, they defiled Azar. Besides that, Shabbos Yom Kippurim, Shabbos Yom Kippur, Yom Kippur. Hey, what's going? Might as well go a whole hog, right? Came at Shalom Vuzaradon Lekan. Once the Vuzaradon, the Vuchanetz's general came up. Rosh Adam Tosis, he saw the blood bubbling. So he said to him, Mativo Shozeh, what is the nature of this blood? So they lied to him. This Gemara is also getting in the this is actually almost identical Agaritas, the Agarit of the Churban, and again the Agaritas we've been doing the past few days.
It's also Tisha B'Av Kinnis too.
Yeah. V'came Joe's resort on the Khan. Rosh Adam Tosi saw the blood bubbling. Lamanam, as he said, Mativo Shazeh, what's going on here? So he lied to him. They said, Dam Porim Bukvasim Ve'elim. There's the blood of the bulls and the sheep and the rams. Shoyinu Makrim Al Gavin said, which we sacrificed in his bech. So he said, oh yeah, let's try. Miyadavi Porim Ve'elim Bukvasim. Immediately he brought the bulls, the rams, and the sheep. The shachtan lay love, and the shechted it there. But diet hamtoses was not comparable. The blood was still bubbling, and the other blood obviously was not. Became shlohodulo, since they didn't tell him the truth. Tolu talim begardon. He hung them up. Was about to strung them up on the gallows. Amrus said, "Well, since anyway Hashem wants to take retribution on our blood from His hands, we might as well tell him the truth." Amrlo, they said to him, "Dam Kohen v'Novi v'Dayin it's the blood of a Kohen, Novi, and Dayan shemisnabelenu, who prophesied against us. Kol mashato selanu, everything you are eventually going to do to us. V'avanu olav, and we didn't like it, so we stood against him v'ragnu, and we killed him." Miyadav Yishmoni El Pirchei Kun immediately brought 80,000 of the young Kohanim v'shachtan aleim olav, and he shechted these Kohanim upon the blood of Schaier. V'adayin adam toses, and their blood was still bubbly. Now it says in the Bible he killed more people, but here in the Yerushalmi that was it. Ba'ishat Nazabeh, at that time he rebuked the blood. He said, Amar Lezer said, "Mad boy, what do you want? No, that kol umasach halachi, we should destroy the whole nation upon you."
By the way, the Tisha B'Av Kinnis also says 80,000.
80,000 specifically?
Yeah.
Not more. Okay. Immediately Hashem was full of mercy. Vamre said, interesting, if this guy who was a human and achzori and is cruel. L'ismali rachmi al bonai, he's full of mercy on my children. Ani, I shekos be kel rachum Hashem lokecha. Hashem is merciful. Lo yarbecha, he will not loosen his grip on you. Lo shchisecha, nor annihilate you. Lo yishkachas b'savasecha, nor forget his covenant with your fathers. Alachas kamakam, how much more merciful should I be? Miyad ramaz l'dam, and even immediately he alluded to the blood, and the blood was swallowed in its place. Now, of course, it was very difficult Gemara theologically what God, the Muzar done is more of a Baal Rachman than Kadosh Baruch Hu, but obviously it's not necessarily Rachmanis in the long run if you're going to let people survive and at the same time they're being Mechal Shei Shemaim and they have no owners for their Averos. So therefore Kadosh Baruch Hu by definition has to do things which seem to be cruel in order to be Mechaper for the Averos of Am Yisrael. But here it was too much because the Rei is causing Chilul Hashem. Because people don't always realize that, like in the Holocaust, people don't understand that it's really a good thing that punishments occur. Nobody understands that very well. So therefore, it was better in this case, in order to avoid prolonged Chilul Hashem, for Kadosh Baruch Hu to give in and say, I have to. If Nuzar Adon is giving in, I certainly have to give it in this case.
Also, innocent people would have been.
Well, there's no such thing as innocent by God. If an innocent person gets killed, God has how to make it up to him. In a much better way, in an infinitely better way than it is in in this world. So there was no such concept of an innocent person getting killed in a tragic way if you look at it from a Kadosh Baruch Hu's perspective. It's only from our perspective within the world that it looks like it's a tragic death and so on and so forth. Okay? So, but how Kadosh Baruch Hu takes that perspective into account. Does anyone when they left for time? So Moshe Rabbeinu say, Lamir silently more, bro, Hotziam, right? What are the Egyptians going to say? So it's the same idea here. Okay? Amar Yochanan, Shmonim Ela Pirkei Kahuna, 80,000 Pirkei Kahuna at that point, Baruch Hu and Metok Kal Tuzim Shoha Beis HaMikdash, they ran and hid, they fled and hid in the cells in the Beis HaMikdash. Because this, when they're all burnt, when the Muzar Adam burnt the Beis HaMikdash. Because from all of them, there only remained El Yoshua ben Yotzodek, Kohen Gadol, who was Kohen Gadol at the beginning of the second temple period. Shema says, Halo Ze'ud Mutar Me'esh, this is a brand saved from the fire. Amar Rabbi Yochanan said, Shmoni El Pirkei Kuna, there were 80,000 Pirkei Kuna, Tochelos who showed to Nebuchadnezzar, were taken captive by the armies of Nebuchadnezzar. V'ochlem ate to the Ishmaelim, very famous medrash. They went to the Ishmaelim, Amrun Lon, and they said to them, to the Ishmaelim, Hovalon Nishtei, give us the drink, Don and Tzachi, because we are thirsty. They believe names, so they brought before them many meluchim, types of salted items, so you get more thirsty. Even notice the food host and bloated goat skins. Amrulon, so they said to him, Yichlun v'atun shasi, eat and then you'll drink. They came to Avachamina and Shari Zika. Once one of them would open the goat skin, the yoiv would go pume, put into his mouth, have a rucha nafik, it would suffocate him. The wind would come out, blow the pressure of Avachanik, they would suffocate him. Although that's what it says. Masa barav, which masa is literally a load. Matul rabaravai, here really means a speech. But we're dashing it, a heavy load in Arabia. But Yar Ba'erev Tolinu, in the forest, B'yar Ba'arav Tolinu, in the forest of Arabia you will sleep. Mina Sunim B'yar Halavono Ba'arav Tolinu, those who were in this is a statement. Mina Sunim B'yar Lavono B'erev Tolinu, those who were in the forest of Lebanon, and the Lebanon here is really Lavnun, and Lavnun is the Beis HaMikdash, which is Malbin, which whitens the Averis of Am Yisrael. So whereas those who are in the Lavnun, Barav Tolinu, they were now sleeping or rest, or I shouldn't say sleeping, but they were actually laid out, because they were dead, in Arabia. Elor should be maybe Elor. Elor chosto danim. It says there chosto danim, and what does that mean? That part of the pasuk? It's a question. V'chein archayo d'bnei dodaya adin. This is a derech which cousins do to each other. In other words, the Arabs are our cousins. They treat each other like cousins, us like cousins. So chutzpah. So Yishmael shetzama. And furthermore, when Yishmael was thirsty, so lowly crossed Tomei Atayumayim, and did not fulfill the statement towards the thirsty person, incline the water, as Vayivkach Elokim and say, now Hashem opened their eyes, Vatei, when she saw bear mine. So, and that was in the schus of Avraham Avinu. Lo min tivi sechon atu l'gabecho. And it's not here, you wouldn't give us water, and not only that, it's not that we came to conquer you, it wasn't from our goodwill that we came towards you, rather, because of the swords we wandered, because of the outstretched sword. So now, here he dashes that somewhat differently. The reason why we're in Bogos is, because we didn't want to keep our shmitos. As it said, and that's what Tashtar means. It's talking about Nilcherev and Netusha, the sword of the Shemitah, which you're supposed to abandon, and we did not abandon. The Gemara, like it says, Vashvis Tishmiteno, Shvis, you should perform the Shemitah, Una Tashtar, forsake your fields. So we didn't do that, and that's where we go to goes. And besides that, Nibnei Keshes Drucha, because of a stretched bow. Shelo ratzu l'shamer shabsoseim. They didn't want to keep Shabbosos. Like you say, Bayom Meim or Isibiula Dorchim Gitos B'Shabbos. It says there Keshes Drucha, a bow which is drawn out or stepped out in order to get it to expand to its greatest point. And we find the word Dorchim also that they were pressing their grapes on Shabbos. So that's another reason why they were punished. Because of the heaviness of the battle, that's another reason they're punished. The final one, they did not want to fight the milchama of Torah. How do we know that Torah is called milchama? Like it says, Hakain, Yeomer b'sefer milchama, Hashem, that should be said in the book of the wars of God, and that's obviously referring to the Torah, and the Torah is the book of the wars of God. So in any event, they didn't want to keep the Torah, or I shouldn't say keep the Torah. They didn't want to fight a battle, intensive battle, learn Torah properly. They want to keep Shabbos. They didn't want to keep Shemitah. So that's how he went into goals.
So this is a little different than the Bavli, where it says that it's
I don't know. It's a good question, because I know that we stress in the Yerushalmi, I'm sorry, not Yerushalmi, Rashi and Chumash stresses Shemitah and says Parsha B'Chukosai. But he also stresses to get Rashi B'Chustory Avodah. So I don't know. It's a good question. Gilead Rise Avodah Zarah and Shvuchostory don't appear here, but maybe they appear.
It's not contradictory. Just
no, it would be complementary. Right? It would be complementary. I don't know. It's a good question. Rabbi Yossi Mikvas Antipatris, Antiparis, from this city to the LCC, Shishim before the Korban, Shishim Ribayora, so there's 600,000 cities. And Aktanash, when the smallest of them, he saw Beit Shemesh, it was Beit Shemesh. You'll see what it says when the Aron was brought back by Yachman Shi Beit Shemesh, the Aron was smote among the people. Beit Shemesh says there are 50,000 people. And that was one city. Kirov Aron, because they looked at the Aron and they didn't give the proper respect. Besides, there was only people on one side of Beit Shemesh. The people on the other side of Beit Shemesh were kept alive. So obviously, this place where the 600,000 cities was quite a large area, heavily populated. However, in Atmavtala Kanye, if they want to put 600,000 reeds in that location, you're not going to be able to do so. Low nasi will not be a successful effort. Why? Because Americhania Kafzel Eretz Yisrael shriveled up. Right? The Gemara in Bavli says Eretz Yisrael is like a deer. You'd skin a deer, you won't be able to fill its hide with the carcass again. The contrary. The hide will be too small to go around the carcass, right? So too.
Can't feel the carcass.
Well, if I said it, I said it. But in any event, the idea is similar here that Kodesh Baruch Hu says, or rather, no, the Gemara says, that when Am Yisrael is in Eretz Yisrael expands to fit them. Okay? Says the Gemara further, now when it's not there, it contracts. Amram Zira, Bo Re'ei Kamu Chatzufa Eretz Yisrael. See how chutzpahdik Eretz Yisrael is. She also peiros. Still produces fruit. In other words, there are no Jews there cultivating the land, yet it still produces fruit. Chutzpah, right? It's not producing fruit for us, it's producing for the yokels. We don't like that. Says the Gemara, Mivnei Ma'os Peiros. Why does it give fruit? Kash. What right does it have to give fruit? So Trei Amroim is a Tumah Amroim and Machlokas. Chad Amroim one say B'nei Mizablin also. It's because they fertilize it. In other words, when everything was all right, they didn't need any fertilizer in Eretz Yisrael. Now they put on fertilizer. That's how stuff grows. The Choran Amar, even that I should say is trees and not grain. Trees need less water than grain. Grain wouldn't go. The Choran Amar, the other said, because it's dirt which is full of sulfur and everything else which came down to the destruction, they turn it over and they use the other side, so to speak. They hoe it, and you plow it, they use the other side, then that's okay. Besides the Gemara,
could you also say that Hashem's keeping the land ready for the next issue?
Yeah, not so early in the game. I don't think so.
Bikas Arbel was a mice with a certain individual who was planting seeds in Bikas Arbel. The Kavash Yodeh, and he put he stuck his hands into the ground. The Nafak Afora, and there came out of the land dirt, Yekida, burning, Va'oki Zara, and it burnt his seed. Because we see that, like the previous Mandomer, the land beneath the surface of Eretz Yisrael is, I guess volcanic would be a word for it, but it's sulfuric, and therefore it can't grow anything. That's part of the klola. So in the superficial layer, that something can grow, and not even that, not always. Okay? Tyra Yosef Omer, Chamisha B'Shtayim short of 52 years after first Korban, Lo Nira Of, but Tas Be'eretz Yisrael, there are no birds who fly over the land of Israel. My title Pasishos Meofa Shamayim Bad Behemon Nadad Olocha. From the oven till the Behemon went away, Behemon's a gematria 52, so that's the amount of time. Amar Rabbi Chanina China said, Kodem L'Arbaim Shana, Achlo Go Yisrael Bavel, 40 years before Am Yisrael went into Bavel, Notu Tvorim Bebavel, they or somebody else planted dates in Bavel. Why? As a preparation for the goals. In order that Am Yisrael should have many sweets, Shemargel Social Darka makes the people accustomed to learn Torah. And there are 7 types of kosher fish. 800 types of kosher grasshoppers. And no end of birds. Kulam Goli we saw Bavel. And they all went with Am Yisrael to Bavel, so Am Yisrael would have sustenance there. When they came back to Israel, Kulam Chazu, they all came back in morning together with them. Chutz, besides Minadav Shnikor Shibuta, besides the locks, the common bagel locks that remained in Bavel. The top of Chav Heim and base now. There's a wild fish, right? No, that they eat in Israel. Lox, I don't think they have. Dagi made Golus. How did the fish go into Golus? How did they get to Bavel? It's pretty far away.
They went in underneath the earth. Derech Hatom Gol, the Derech Hatom Chosin, they came back the same way except for the Shibuta fish. Rabbi Yochanan, Asher Misha Royem Amal Palos Shel Tarmod. These were these individuals sees the downfall of the city of Tarmod. Some call it Tamur, and the Shari Teres Yisrael identifies as some city I never heard of, Perema or something like that. So anyway, they're stinkers. Shehu I saw Shutevas the Chorim Bayis Rishon. They're involved in this turn. The first base Mikdash Chorim Bayis Shen. The second base Mikdash Chorim Rishon. I meet him Shmona El Kshatim. They gave 80,000 soldiers. Chorim Sheni I meet Shmona Alofim Kshatim only 8,000. But the bottom line is they helped out their enemies. V'nechor Sha'ir. The city was plowed under. Charash Rufus Shachik Atzamos Sesecha. Rufus, the grinder of bones, the evil carpenter, destroyed or plowed under the place where the Echel was. Okay, Mishnah Vav. Mishenichnas of Mematim B'Simcha. Oh, don't say, yeah. Mishmir Zav Mematim B'Simcha. When all comes in, we diminish Simcha. Shabbos Chal Tishbav Lios B'Socha. Shabbos the Tishbav comes in. So then, on that Shabbos, as soon as Sapil Chabis, they're not allowed to take haircuts or to do laundry. Chamish, with the exception of Thursday, Mutar, they're permitted. If Tishba came out on Friday, it does not anymore. Friday or Shabbos, so then they're permitted on Thursday. With Sapil Chabis, Mibnei Kavashas Kozyan of Shabbos. Erev Tishbav, on Erev Tishbav, lo yochel adam shnei tavshin, a person should not eat 2 cooked dishes, lo yochel basar, nor eat meat, lo yishtei yain, nor drink wine. Shigom liyamer yishani, you should change what he normally does. Liyamer mechayim, mekiyas amita, he has to lower his bed, lo chachamim, chachamim did not concede the point to him. Amrei Rishon Levi, we had this Gemara previously, that which you're not allowed to build during the 9 days, is Hadad Atamar. Oh, by the way, what period you see is not mentioned here?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, right? Because they didn't have 3 weeks.
Well, Spartan just hold from Rosh Chodesh.
By the way, you don't have to wait. So I don't want to wait either. So you don't have to wait. So we had to see him. Yeah.
For the cake or the kluah?
The kluah, you better wait. Yes.
Spartan just hold that they don't hold 3 weeks, right? They just hold from Rosh Chodesh.
Well, besides that, they don't hold it the 9 days either. They only have Shvuah Shechalvo, right? Okay. Okay. So in any event, he never has.
It's the Mikey.
He doesn't trust the kid. He doesn't trust the extra.
That's the Mikey syndrome. You don't like cereal. All Mikey likes and likes. I'll just try to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Erev Tishbav, lo yochel adam shnei tavshil v'lo yochel basar. Person should not eat 2 cooked dishes and not eat meat. Lo yishnei Rav Shimon Omer lo yishat. Oh, I just said. All right, to tomorrow. It's only if you're doing something which causes simcha. If your ball is about to fall down, so to this ball, take it down, and rebuild it. Because of the Gani. The only wall it's forbidden to build is the wall of chuppah, meaning a house which is being done for the simcha of a wedding. That's forbidden. Rabbi Bob, Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Yaakov came. Rabbi Yaakov said, also on the Mlaris Yisha Erev Shabbos. Now to get engaged in Erev Shabbos, and it's come to Chilul Shabbos having divorce. So Suda says it's only not to have divorce. But to actually get engaged, you're allowed to do so. Shmuel Mar Pilu B'Tishba, be even getting engaged Tishba. Why? We had this also before. Yarish Lei Yeshemi Kameno Shloi Kameno Acher. The Rabbi Shulchap Arayin urged Shedach before him. Mechavashi does say Shmuel seems to be contradictory to Shmuel. Tavnor Moshiv Chidim Baisa. Now Hashem puts the individuals at home, Bimos Naim, who are at home, He puts them into His scales. Lalos Hema Mehevel Yachadesh, go out of emptiness together, and that means that Hashem decreases Shidduchim. V'achomar Chen, he actually say that the guy might lose his shidduch. Hashem preordains it. Ella Shaloi Kamenu Achar B'Tfilah. The only way somebody else can take over, or if somebody else davens. And by davening, you can actually change the gzeira and get somebody's not your basher. Nevertheless, Afil Kain Lo Kaima, it doesn't work out in the long run. You're either going to divide or die or divorce her, and because she's not your true basher. So, you can change it, but it's not so good. I'm Rabbi Yoner, said, Chodat Amar Meruach Mabush. That which it says is forbidden to do laundry during the 9 days. It's only do laundry and put on the stuff. Beram Meruach Umetakna, but you think there's a prohibition to do laundry and leave it and fix it for after the 9 days? If we said that, the launderer is not allowed to do work during the 9 days. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So it means not doing laundry for the 9 days, but for after the 9 days, you're allowed to do it. Now, the minhag on Tisha B'Av on 9 days, people have not to wear clothes which are freshly laundered. I don't know where it comes from. It's not from the Gemara as far as I know. You know where it comes from?
Making a regular availus.
Yeah, but it's not really regular availus. I don't think that's so. It's not true by regular availus. You Avel can put on, and Avel Yudbeis Chodesh, even Shloshim.
Right.
And this is not like Shiva.
Shloshim also.
What? Shloshim for not freshly laundered clothes. Am I incorrect about that?
I think you're right.
It's only Shiva.
Right.
No, it's a shave.
Can't wear the same underwear for 30 days. No, it's not the same.
Yeah. I don't think you even have to wear the same underwear during Shiva. As far as I recall, the halacha, Americans don't have to wear the same underwear all 7 days. Israelis have to, but not Americans. Yeah, but yeah, because we all have a din of istinus nowadays. That's like I'm pretty sure about that. But in any event, I don't know where that minute comes from. Not to wear fresh laundry clothes. It's not in here. So in any event, Masisa please Rabbi Yehuda. That's nice. We don't want the launderers union to come and protest. However, seems like Mishnah so Shabbos Chal Tishma V'Yos B'Soicha. The week when Tishma comes, Taka Suim L'Sabil Chapis. Allowed to get haircuts or do laundry. V'Chamishi only on Friday Mutter Neikov and Shabbos. What do you do with that Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda? So Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Nuna says, with these Boris Hushva, our Mishnah is talking when it says it's also a week. That's only going on the haircut. But it's laundry, it depends. If you're doing it to wear it that week, it's no good. But if you're doing it for later, it's all right. Rabbi Pabar Koyeno Makum Rabbi Yoso Rabbi Acham Sherevos Tishma V'Shchayos B'Shabbos. When Tishma comes out on Shabbos, Shtei Shabbos is Mutaros the week before and the week after a Mutar. Even though Tishma is what? When would Tishma be then? Sunday. But there's no Shavuot Shechabo. And it's also afterwards, there's no problem either, right? We don't have any problem before or after. Rabbi Yaakov Shenevos La'achrav Mao. Now, says the Gemara, what about regular case? What about the day after Tisha B'Av? Now, it doesn't say the day after Tisha B'Av, but I'm pretty sure about that the Gemara is going into our minute today not to do laundry till Chatzos of the 10th day. Rabbi Yochanan La'achrav Aser. Taka after Tisha B'Av, it's also to do work. It says it's permissible. Darsh Rabbi Chia Bar Abba to the Tzipor. Rabbi Chia Bar Abba, actually Tziporim like Rabbi Yochanan that you're allowed to work right after Like Rishon Lakish, sorry, allowed to do laundry right after Tish B'Av is over. Though keep on land, they refuse to accept it, as we will see later on. They're very machmer. Rabbi Ami, Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Ami says, Rabbi Yossi, Ve'in Kain, Ve'in Ben Achush Rabbi Chia Gadol. Doesn't the nephew of Chia Gadol argue on this? Who's nephew of Chia Gadol? Does everybody remember? Who's the nephew of Rabbi Chia?
No. Now you can do what Dr. Larkin used to do.
Wait a minute. No.
The teacher, you people.
It's, was it Rob?
Yes! Yes.
Rob?
You stand vindicated. Yes. Yes. Rob.
Not that long ago.
What?
We had it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we've had it, I don't know how recently we have had it.
I recall you mentioned.
So anyway, doesn't Rob hold that it is usher to it's mutter, excuse me, to do laundry the day after Tish B'Av. Says more Amalei nevertheless said nevertheless befeish plige. There's explicit machlokas Rabbi Yochanan is Taka Machmir and Rabbi Chia Barbo holds Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Lachravos after Shvazos Rishtor Shin Lakish Amar Lachrav Mutter. The Shin Lakish is the only one who holds right afterward it's Mutter. Now Ma'aval Shimon Lakish, what does Shimon Lakish do? I think maybe it's going about. It seems like there was a Bryce which goes against Yerushalmi Ta'anis, which Hargmar does not bring down and got lost. But it could also be for Rabbi Avo. For Rabbi Avo, it seems that right after Tish B'Av is also to do work. It says that when Tish B'Av comes out on Shabbos, they can do work both before and afterwards. It sounds like any other time Tish B'Av afterwards is Taka also do work. So it says Gemara Shimon Lakish Patlo Tish B'Av Shechali B'Shabbos. He says no. That's the case. The Tish B'Av comes on Shabbos. That's no different. Now it's not clear why that case where Tish B'Av comes on Shabbos is different. Could be because since Tish B'Av comes on Shabbos, so there's no. Then it's going to actually be pushed off till Sunday. And what are you going to say? Achrav is us or Achrav is already after. It's mutter. 1 second. I got them mixed up again. No, Shlosh holds it's mutter. So Kasha Shimon Lakish is there must have been the Kasha. Sorry, the Kasha Shimon Lakish is Rishon Lakish holds mutter. So if that's the case, what is he going to do with this? This Mishnah, with the statement of Rabbi Avo, Saravo says that it's only because Tish B'Av comes on Shabbos that it's mutter, right? Sounds like any other time it's Taka Osir, right? And that Rishon and Lakish would say that Patla Tish B'Av Shchalios B'Shabbos, that's telling about Tish B'Av which comes out on Shabbos. Oh, yeah, now I remember. That goes to Tish B'Av. What he means is that they would happily talk about a case of Tish B'Av coming out on Shabbos. That was for a different reason. The reason I talk about that Tish B'Av Shcharis B'Shabbos or Rabbi Avo's case is tells the halacha that in that case there's no shavua lifnei, no shavua shechalbo, and says the Shlokish that I agree. My quibble is afterwards. That I say even after Tish B'Av is mutter. You're trying to be right for Rabbi Avo that it normally is also except when a case that comes out on Shabbos. No, that's not true. Shemla, the Rayavo would also ask her, would also be matir, even if it came out on a weekday. Alright, so if that's the case, why did Kid pick the case of Shabbos? In order to tell us the special halacha beforehand. In that case, beforehand, one has no din of Shavua Shechalbo. Again, Shimon Lakish says it's mutter to do laundry in the morning of Yud, right? So if that's the case, the Gemara asks the question, wait a minute, it said it's out for Rabbi Avo. When's the only time you're able to do laundry immediately after Tish B'Av is out, the next day, when Tish B'Av comes on Shabbos? So Tisha B'Av is really nidche to Sunday. So then Monday morning it's mutter right away. But if Tisha B'Av comes out any other day of the week, it sounds like the next day, Yud in the morning, is Take Aser. What are you going to do there, Shimon Losh? Shimon Losh says, no, Rabbi Avo would have Rabbi Avo would have matir doing laundry no matter what day of the week Tisha B'Av came out. It's not just because Tisha B'Av was on Shabbos and therefore Nidchet to Sunday. Hi, so why did he pick such a cockamamie case? Because his point was to tell us the Chiddush on the other end. And when Tisha B'Av comes on Shabbos, now he's a mutter mili after Tisha B'Av, but there's no Shavuot Shechar Bo Lifnei. Okay? Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar said, "Min dahava b'Tisha B'Av." Once Tisha B'Av, Yitzchak Elazar, min dahava Tisha B'Av. Once Tisha B'Av was over, Nafak he went out, have a matzri machris, and he went out to Paschal to Freya, and there was barbershops that opened. No matter what, apparently everyone wanted to get a haircut. The sure wasn't at night, but but he meant the next morning. Okay, they would matter it next morning. Vishpati komasos, I will cease all of its joy. Chaga, it's month. Chadasha, it's holiday. Chadasha, it's month. V'Shabbosah, and it's Shabbos. V'chol moadeh, and all of it's Yom Yitovim. The Ramoy Nehigin. Now, there's machlokes what this pasuk is talking about. The Ramoy Nehigin Chaga. The Ramoy did like we do actually today from Rosh Chodesh, which is a Chag, till Tisha B'Av. They would keep the stringencies for the 9 days. Tzipori Nagi Chadasha. The entire month of Av, they would be machmir not to
After Tisha B'Av,
even
too?
after Tisha B'Av. Yes.
What about Tu B'Av? That's
What?
supposed to be a simcha. Tu B'Av.
Not a Tzipori. Can I tell you? At Tivrei no Nagu Shabbos, so they did like the Gemara suggests the Shabbos of Tisha B'Av, so that week. Chaz Rabban did very Lamino Rabban and Tzipor, but then they changed mind, so the Tzipor the whole month they didn't do anything. Rabbi Yeshua Chia Barba said, Betino Ushu Misanim Basiri. We should also fast on the 10th day. Should only start Basil King, that's when the base Midrash was destroyed. For long of cheese, why at the night they should be clear for us because that's for us began, and that's the worst part. Once it's begun, so then it's already entrenched and it's something else. But the beginning of the Puronis is very scary.
So he obviously disagrees with Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar about the haircut.
Absolutely, certainly does. The Taikin learned B'Shvin Nichnasu L'Toch the 7th day of they came into the Beis Hamikdash. The Shinei and the Karkin Bo, and the 8th day they played around in there. The Chi on the 9th day Hitzitu Bo, so they started the fire. Assyria on the 10th day Nisrafim will continue to burn. The Shimon Levi Tzayim used to fast Shiva Assyria the 9th and 8th day of Av. Rabbi Yavun Tzayim Shiva Assyria used to fast the 9th and 8th day of Av. Rabbi Levi Tzayim Shiva Leil Assyria. He wouldn't fast the whole 10th day, but he fasted until the evening was over. Rabbi Barbazat Hashem Rabbi Chanina said, Bikesh Rabbi Lakor Tisha B'Av. You want to uproot Tisha B'Av. Loi Nichulo, they didn't let him. Amla Rabbi, now the reason we wanted to uproot Tisha B'Av, the commentator brings down, is because you only have to fast at time C, we're a time when the Torah is for Klal Yisrael. And Tzipori, things were going pretty well, as we well know that Tzipori was an easy city to live in, right? It's a metropolis. So in any event, he didn't want to make Tisha B'Av anymore. So he said to him, no, Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Lezer said to Rabbi Lezer, I was with you. And that's not what it says there. Bikesh Rabbi didn't want to uproot all Tisha B'Av. Bikesh Lak or Tisha B'Av Shechalios B'Shabbos. He wanted to uproot Tisha B'Av on Shabbos. That year when Tisha B'Av comes on Shabbos, just push it off altogether, right? V'loi nichulo. They wouldn't let him. So he said, what can I do? If it's pushed out, you push it all together. They said, Rabbi, make it tomorrow. The guards they lay, and we forgot a similar case. How was it here time we learned of there? Yochanan broke Omer. Excuse me. Yochanan ben Broka says, I'll stay on both man and woman. God bless them, the God said to be fruitful and multiply. So he holds also women Mechli approval. Rabbi Lezer, B'Shem Rabbi Chanina said, Halacha Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. The halacha Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. That's how we heard it. Halacha Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka. That women also chayv in approval. Says the Gemara, Omar le Rabbi Bar Zavta. Rabbi Bar Zavta said, nah. You see, I was with you. The Lord Samri said, it's not what it says, not the women are clear and approval. Ella, rather. Say if she demands the right to get remarried, she can compel the husband to give the get. Not because she's mitzvah and approval and her husband ain't providing her with kids, but rather because she can say, she has a logical time, she can say that, well, it doesn't say, it says in the Carbonate thing that she wants some support in her old age. So if she wants kids, not because of the mitzvah purvu, but she wants kids in order to support her. Literally, chutra is a stick or a cane, biodei for their hands. Okay? The Kara Lehon, so needless to say, that when Rabbi Chanina got these things wrong, Rabbi Eliezer corrected him, he said, Tavim Ashtayim min Echad, two are better than one. Actually, two people corrected him because they have better memory than he did. Mao Yishaneh. What does the birthday change in Erev Tishba? The Achliv? He should change things, downgrade. Imava Yoliv Achil Litra the Kupat. If it's accustomed to eating a measure of meat, Yechobaga should eat half. Imava Yoliv Shati Ketz the Chamer usually drank a half gallon of beer. Yishte Palga should drink a half. Amar Yochanan said this diminishing. It's only in the primary meal Tisha B'Av meaning Suda Mafsekes. Before you don't have to diminish. We of course are not knowing any of this. You don't eat meat on Erev Tisha B'Av like the Gemara suggests.
Alcohol either.
No, we didn't drink alcohol.
If you're sure.
Just not wine. So in Haman, so says the Gemara, I'm Rabbi Yossi. I skip. I'm Rabbi Yossi. Bat Ikus to the Tisha B'Av and Rabbi Yossi Avad Sheshov Samal. He's not going after Summah, but he goes after noon. However, I'm Rabbi Yossi Tartan the Kula. They're both a Kula. I'll go sleep with Tisha B'Av Sheshov Samal. Tisha B'Av, or sleep low to the ground. We sit low to the ground. We do not sleep low to the ground because it, as Rabbi Yehuda says, that what?
Because we are Ninos.
Right, because we're actually in a higher majority of this, the majority of Aninus. There are no great days for the Jews than Tu B'Av, Yom Kippurim, and besides their own internal greatness, Shebohen on them are B'nai Yerushalayim, the men of Yerushalayim. Yotzi b'kli chalav and shli yigona barba, clothing, shli levayish mishaino, ain lo, not to embarrass those who do not have. Kol came to an in tefillah. All these came require tefillah's kelim. Uvno Yerushalayim, in other words, all the garments, because we're afraid that somebody says Zav or a Zava. Uvno Yerushalayim, the daughters of Yerushalayim, Yoitzos, they will go the chos and make dances. Bakram in the vineyards. And they would say, what do they say? Bachur, young man. Sorry, no, I never lift up your eyes and raise my top bar look and see what you want to pick. Do not look at the beauty. Look at the family. And so it says, go out, daughters of Israel, look at Shlomo, go out and see Shlomo. The Yom Chasunason, the day of his Chasna, Zumat Torah, that's the day he got the Torah. The Yom Simchas Libo, the day of his joy, said Binyan Beis HaMikdash, he bought him here, that's the building Beis HaMikdash should speedily be rebuilt. It says, Manicha Yom HaKippurim, Shu Kapara Yisrael. And Kippur said special day. We're not looking at the dances as the reason why it's special day, but rather something internal. What's internal to Yom Kippur? Yom Mechilus Shu Kapara Yisrael, it's Kapara. But Tu B'Av, what's the special simcha of Tu B'Av again besides the dances? Rabbi Yaakov Baruch Hashem Rabbi Yasser said Shebozman Kitzas Peri Kitza Yafel Leitzim. It's a good time to harvest the fruit. You should call it Eitzim Shehem, not harvest the fruit. Sorry. It's a good time to cut the wood, cut down the wood for use in the Beis HaMikdash as fuel. You should call Eitzim Shehem Yitzatzi, but any wood which is cut down until Tu B'Av, not beyond Tu B'Av, but until Tu B'Av, and Osim HaChos, they do not get moth in. Like we learned over there, call H and any tree in which there is a worm or a moth, whatever it is, plus Megab is not allowed to be used on Mizbech. Rav said, another reason Tu B'Av is happy day. Shebenelo, the last king of the northern kingdom, canceled Pardesos, the watchman, Shoshiv Yerov and Evan al Drachin, that Yerov put up that people should not go up Yerushalmi and Aliyah L'Regel. And it says Allah. I skipped. Kana Shal Rav. Kana asked Rav. Kana Tibusa Rav Sa'avad. This is he did all this great stuff. So why do you have to go Ksibe? And it says, Olech Allah Shamaneser Melech Ashur. To you, Shamaneser king of Ashur came. Amalei, so he said, why? Well, the question was, why did such a good guy deserve such a terrible fate, right? So he said,
he didn't get rid of the bomos.
Well, it's one reason. But another one, Amalei Desha Shamaneser Kolmi Tzavor, he took off the yoke from his shoulders and passed the buck. The totally B'tzavor Rav and put on the buck of the masses. Well, Marko Amayasku, he didn't say everybody should make Aliyah. He said, "Man, the boy Mesuk Yesuk." He just said he wants to go up, should go up, and that was not the way to handle it.
And by that time, they were so used to not doing it.
Right, probably inertia. Rashul Bar Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Amilon, some say Shmuel Bar Nachman said. Next page, last page. What's special about Tu B'Av? Shebohutru Shvatim Levuza B'Zeh Shvatim allowed to marry each other. Originally, at the time of No Slavcha, they were forbidden to marry each other in order that the Nachla shouldn't go from Shevet to Shevet. But some days, some bright Tu B'Av, they were permitted to do so. The Chsiv says, V'lo Tasiv Nachla Neso, the portion of Yisrael should not go mata from Shevet to Shevet, mata acher, one Shevet to another Shevet. Kish nachlas mata savosori boker, everybody should stick to their nachla, right? Bnei Yisrael. It says the chobat yereshas nachla midos bnei mimatos bnei Yisrael v'gomer. It says any daughter who inherits property of v'chi efshar lebas lirash de matos. How can you have a daughter who gets two matos, right? Nachla mimatos from plural. If you put the shavim shevet acher, it must be that her father was from one shevet, b'yum shevet acher, and her mother from another shevet, and that she was getting from two matos, two different shvatim. And here we see that the shvatim are mentioned in the context of being permitted to marry, intermarry between shvatim. Okay. On Tu B'Av, Shei Binyamin was permitted after they were excommunicated, after Ma'aseh Pilach Shugiva, they were permitted to return to the congregation. The Glavobikol. The Chsiv, it says, Aron Nosek Isha Arur Nosan. Yeah. Aron Nosek Isha Binyamin. It says, this is where they distanced him. It said, forbidden is anybody to give their daughters to Binyamin. Mika Karu, that was one pasuk. Then read another pasuk. It should be they read this pasuk. Mika Karu V'Richu. They read this pasuk and they sent him away. They forbade him to marry. Mika Karu, and then they saw another pasuk, and it should be Uvikirvu, and they brought him back. Mika Kasu V'Richu. A pasuk they saw which distance was Ephraim, Menashe, Kruim, Shimon, Yuli. Ephraim and Menashe will be like Reuven and Shimon, meaning there's no need for Binyamin anymore. They'll dump Binyamin because they're getting Ephraim and Menashe 2-for-1 sale, right? Mikor Karo Kirvu, but then they now read another passage brought it back to Tommy, so where it says Goyim Kal Goyim, a nation and a congregation of nations, Yemi Mecha, should come from you, and kings from your loins. Now this is Dayan Lo Noah Binyamin. This is going on every 3 kids already born later on. Goy Ukahal Goyim. So it must be that one of them was obviously what?
Sure.
Well, Binyamin, right? 3 nations, three, which means Ephraim, Menashe, and Binyamin. Okay, so that's 3. Goy Ukahal Goyim. Rayavuna Amar Shabo Bata Cheper. That's the specialty of Tu B'Av. They stopped having to dig. What happened? Moshe Motzi make an announcement. He said, Tzulach Bor, go out to dig your what? What are they going to have to dig every Erev Tisha B'Av? What are they going to have to dig?
Erev Tisha B'Av.
Yeah. Their graves. Because they all died every Tisha B'Av. That's when everybody died in the Midbar. Yeah. Tzulach, what?
Yeah, that's right.
Moshe Motzi Cruz. Moshe make an announcement. But they would go and make graves. B'Yishenim, and they would sleep in the graves. In the morning they would get up, and lo and behold, they would be missing 50,000 and change who died. And Shanim Achrona.
This is where the horror movie started.
Right. The last year, Asuke, they did this. V'amdu, and they got up. V'matzas from and they found themselves whole. They said, maybe we made a mistake in Cheshbon. But they went back to Chem B'Yud, 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 this love. Came Nachim 0 once the moon was full on the 15th day of the month. They said, Hashem canceled that terrible Gzera. They later from us, they made it Yontzah. Okay, call Kalim to the tefillah. You have to do tefillah. Knows Yisrael yotzes v'chos v'kran. Knows Yisrael go out and dance. Rabbi Shmuel Mara feeling sunim teva water. Even if the stuff was in a box last time, you still have to table it. Last time you came to tumah with it. Says where we told Shat those came to Mashilan. There's an incentive to lend it out since you're gonna have to take it out anyway next time you want to wear it and table it. So you might as well lend it out to somebody else. Or even might as well lend it out to Nam Aretz, right? Because what do you gain? Eventually you have to table it anyway. Okay? Says Umayu Omri, Maris. What would they say? Son Einecha Bachur, look up, young man. Reima at Borlach, let's see what you choose for yourself. I'll take Einecha Benoy. Teinecha Mishpacha. Do not look at the adornment, look at the family of Chulei. Now, Hoysabito Shomelech. It was the daughter of a king. Shoelas Vividash Kohen Gadol, she borrowed her clothes from the daughter of Kohen Gadol. Vidash Kohen Gadol, vice versa, the daughter of the Kohen Gadol, Shoelas Vivito Shomelech, she asked from the daughter of the king. Hakuros, the ugly ones. They would say, don't look at how beautiful. I know even the beautiful ones, they didn't say don't look at beautiful. They said, look at our distinguished family, which was a hint, look we're hot stuff. So it says, this is talking about, obviously there was such similar minhag at the same time. Like Tubav, all the girls were told to go out and see the King Shlomo, Ba'atorashi Loimo, the crown his mother made for him. B'yom Chasun Ason, the day of his chasna, Suman Torah, V'atil Yom Simchasiva, the day of the joy of his heart. Zeh Binyan Beis Mikdash, that's the joy of the building based on Mikdash. Sheibana B'Yimer V'Yameinu, Amen, which she built very securely in our day.
That Shlomo was not Torah.
What? We got the the crowns.
The crowns Torah. When he became king, was like
no. Shlomo is Am Yisrael. It's the metaphor of shiur. The art school translation type shiur.